What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode here. This week's a little bit different. I'm actually on my way to Shell Lake, Wisconsin right now to visit Hartung taxidermy. So those of you who watched our bear hunting video, I was successful in harvesting my first black bear. We ended up taking that bear to my wife's cousin, which I guess technically makes him my cousin now. My wife's cousin Tyler. He owns a business called Hartung Taxidermy based out of Shell Lake. It's a little bit out of my way, but it is worth the drive. I can't wait to show you guys the work he does. And in this particular episode, what I'm actually going to do is be bringing him the base I built for my bear mount. I'm doing a full body bear mount standing on its hind legs, and he needs the mount in order to be able to effectively situate the form on it and wrap the hide. So he won't be wrapping up the mount this episode. That'll come in a future episode where I'll hopefully be able to capture some of the detail work he does around actually finishing the mount. Today is more of the bulk work, the meat and potatoes as far as I understand it, where we'll actually set the form, get everything situated, and wrap the hide, allow that to dry for a number of weeks, and then I'll come back up and actually film him doing the detail work. He does just an absolutely incredible job. I'll link all of his information below. You guys should definitely check him out. He's worth the drive even if he isn't in your area. I think he has like north of 40 bears he's doing this year, a pile of deer, and then other animals of all varieties for those who've had a successful harvest. So stay tuned. This is going to be a little bit different, but I think it's going to be a pretty cool episode. So I can't wait to take you guys along for this and introduce you guys to Tyler. Hello. What's going on?
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Oh, not too bad.
Yeah.
I got you some stuff. I owed you.
You did.
Yeah.
Oh.
Got her all tanned out.
Hand out, clean. Dry one more time. All pretty and fluffy.
Yeah, you got a pile of them halfway done too, or done.
Almost 3/4 of the way. That's 26 done. Half mount's done.
Okay.
And then
Out of what'd you have? Like 45? 52? Wow. Yeah, you're busy.
pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's been fun. I'd say that a lot of parts.
Helps pay the bills. I'm gonna grab a bunch of my crap out of the truck quick.
Bring that base in.
Yep. I'll grab it here in a second.
How you been?
Oh, not too bad.
Fish, I see.
Yeah, we've been doing all right.
What was that big fish the other day? Because you stopped it before it come out. And you're bothering me. I've been doing that for like a week now.
It's been eating at you?
Huh?
It was a walleye.
Was it?
It was 30.
Was it
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, at
Did you
least.
catch it? It's the one that got off.
I lost leverage at the hole. I saw it though. I wasn't sure if it was gonna make it up through the hole.
Yeah.
It was so big. Because my hole is only 8.5. Let's see what we got for light in here.
Full body there's my wife. That turned out pretty sweet.
Which one?
That full body there.
This one here? Oh yeah, this looks great. It's absolutely great. All scrap lumber.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. It's definitely
I had to really
made.
hack it together.
One thing you might find you want to do, just take like a pair of coasters on the bottom,
Yeah.
and then build like recess them so they just barely stick out, so you can at least move it around.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're stuck in one spot.
Yeah, I was gonna buy feet. Yeah.
So once we put it on there, we'll screw those boards on, put it on, and then we'll take it back off. But it's pretty simple.
Okay.
We'll have to bolt it when we're all done.
All right. This is your deal. Just tell me when I'm in the way. I'm just trying to capture some of this for you. I wonder if we shade it more to the back. Just if we add that log, then it's got some room. Yeah, that'll work.
Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, it looks good.
We can bring that head down so it's looking at you. Not. I hate when stuff looks like
it's above the horizon.
Yeah, not looking at you.
Yeah.
So we'll tuck that down a little bit. That one. That head's gonna be a little big. I should show you that when you take a hide like that, like when they start small and you go like this, you can gain like 2-3 inches. It's pretty wild.
Really? Just stretching them out, basically?
Good snap.
The old bear hug.
Bear hug. There you go, take her home.
Perfect, looks good.
One of my dad's deer heads I did in the house. Mounted it up. I had all the face up to tuck in, like it was all hanging off it.
Yeah.
I sent the pictures, like, come get it, it's all done. Oh, that should fit.
God, that hide's beautiful.
Yeah, and like all the little stringy stuff, that'll.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a little bit of cutting, but.
So what year is this? How many years have you been doing this?
There should be almost 10 years. I think I was 19 when I went to taxidermy school.
That's what I thought. Just for the people at home.
Yeah.
Get to know you a little bit.
Information.
Yeah.
Useful now.
50 bears this year. Over 50.
85 deer heads. The bear progression is pretty crazy.
Oh, absolutely.
When I first moved up here 5 years ago, I did 7 bears. 5 years, something like that.
Yeah.
Then I did 11. Must be 4 years. I did 7, 11, 35, and then 52. So.
Seems like less and less people are taking bears.
Yeah, people don't. I actually really enjoy mountain bears. A lot of guys hate doing them.
Yep.
A lot of guys send them out too. And they take forever to get back. They're hard to flesh and take care of that way. That's for guys that don't like them.
Mm-hmm.
But pressure washing them has been a huge. I mean, that's a pretty good tan on a bear hide.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Well, and I suppose messing in all that bear fat keeps your pretty little hands soft,
yeah,
right?
Nice lotion. Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely lotioned up.
So then do you just shave that form down yourself so that the head sits just a little bit more?
Actually, that bear form in the window there, it's looking down.
Yeah.
Started like the bear to the left.
Okay.
And cut it in half, and then I added 6 inches on top, so it's coming down. Turn the head, cut both arms, move the arms so they fit like it's actually crawling down, not stiff-legged. I'll tell you about my whole turkey thing.
No.
So I'm going in March to Missouri to work with a world champion turkey taxidermist for a week.
Really?
And try and make my birds, that caliber.
Oh, I mean, my God, this is pretty dang good, Tyler.
That is, I want to get, like, these are all the heads. They're all freeze-dried skin.
Yep.
And, like, he goes through painting that to mounting them, and it should be pretty cool.
So what's this? Just glue to hold the form then?
This is Bondo. This is auto.
Okay, yep. Auto body filler.
Auto body filler.
Yep.
the bondo to stick to. I mix my bondo really hot, so there ain't a lot of like playtime.
Yeah, bonds real quick.
I might have you hold that.
Sure. Yeah. Sit this down.
You got it?
No, I think so. And do you ever use this bondo to add space, like if the hide's too long or anything, or do you mostly shorten up the hide?
I have 2-part foam, which is the same stuff this is made out of.
Okay.
You mix it 50-50, and that's how like that form that I altered there. You just mix that, and it's basically great, a glorified great stuff.
Sure.
But it's not as you can control it. You pour it, mix it in a cup, pour it out, and it just like 4 cups will fill that whole entire base.
Sure.
It'll just expand and fill it all up nicely. And I'm just using this up. I use clay to kind of fix like down there.
So somebody brings a bear to you, like I did. You obviously fleshed it here. Then what are the kind of the next steps in the process to get to this point? And then after this point, what's next after that?
So after they're here and scun, then I pressure wash them all, and then I thin them like the faces with that big round wheel right there.
Sure.
That's how I thin like the neck is really bristly on a bear. So they get fleshed with the pressure washer, then they get thinned on the wheel. I had Brent helping me. We had 40 fleshed by like the beginning of December.
Yep.
Then I had them all. You can kind of see in my little corner there. There's a pile of bears that are fleshed and salted.
Sure.
Once they're salted, they can. They don't have to go in the freezer then.
Okay.
They're rock hard now. So that was a mountain of bear hides until I started mounting bears. Once they're there, they're good to store until whenever. And then I do all my own tanning here. I have a 5-day tanning process. Once they're tanned, wash them and mount them. And usually, like that big bear, probably take about a month to dry.
Okay.
Typically, like 3 weeks is probably good enough for a bear. 3 to 4 weeks.
How do you dry them? Just hang dry them?
Hang them like that, and they're dry.
Yeah.
Once they're mounted.
Okay.
And then, finished work. That obviously I had 7 finished by Friday. I can mount stuff like crazy, but I hate finished work. So.
Yeah, all the detail work takes 90% of the time, you know?
Time consuming, and I run out of wall. The biggest problem, I would mount them all at once and be done. I run out of wall space. I've only tried so many.
Yeah.
I think there's 26 half mounts on the wall at one point, and that's like max capacity. So then it's like, well, I gotta finish some stuff or I'm not gonna be able to make it fit.
Yeah, you got a pile of them in here, that's for sure. Well, once you go full time and you build a big pole barn, you could have hundreds of them on the wall once dried out.
That is like hopefully very soon. So bears, obviously you have armpit skin, right? So to make it not so tight.
Just notch it so you get a little bit of...
So I can tuck skin inside there.
Sure.
That eats up a lot of extra skin. And you'll realize how much you fight it.
These are the pro tips.
The biggest thing about this stuff, like when you start altering things, is like the anatomy and making sure you don't have his arm bending like here. Like you have an elbow and a wrist.
So, how much does it cost to take my 200-pound bear and make it look like a 500-pound bear?
You got a couple pounders laying around because I was like, oh, make it bigger, make it look bigger. It only do so much. It'll look really good when it's fluffed up. It'll look.
Oh yeah, it's gonna look awesome.
I would go. Especially being that yours is standing up, it's gotta be really straight. as straight as it can be.
Yeah.
I got a limp on one side, so I'm short. Looks straight, you know.
What's that looking?
Dude.
That'll do.
Send her home. It's really enjoyable trying to do this stuff straight when you're by yourself.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
One hand, hold it on there, screw it in there. Oh, you just fight everything.
All you got to do is call and ask for help.
Well, usually it's 1 in the morning while you're doing it myself.
Yeah, I bet.
I move it to call 1 in the morning.
It depends on how free the beer is.
Yeah. The other day I was hanging up the bears that are finished on the wall. I'm not too down on hanging one up, so I'm trying to catch bears like this. And it was almost disastrous.
Yeah, I bet. So you don't actually use the end of the form then? Do you feel
Well, it was a little bit long.
Okay.
Just, you look at it in the form too, like you can see its arms. It looks a little bit longer. So,
Gotcha. Tricks of the trade. Yeah, base ended up being just about the perfect size.
Yeah, it should look really cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. All the intricacy that goes into something like this. Supply chain, everything, right? I mean...
Yeah, I mean, there is issues getting materials sometimes.
Yeah, I bet.
Especially nowadays. But it isn't bad.
Now, if you didn't smooth that seam, would you see it?
Being that it's standing up, you probably would.
Yeah.
Try to suck in right there a little bit.
As it dries
Yeah.
and kind of fits the form?
Yep.
Sure.
You'd at least see a crease.
Mm-hmm.
Which, it being standing up, you wouldn't see a crease on its belly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's pretty snug. This is just, I think it's like vinyl adhesive.
Mm-hmm.
From Sherwin-Williams. Pipe paste, basically.
Okay.
You pay for the same stuff in a catalog, you pay a bunch more. Or get it from Sherwin-Williams.
And this is what adheres the hide?
Yep.
So it's like you're giving it a bath.
Pretty
back
much.
rub.
Yeah, lather it all up. So you can buy ear liners for bear and deer. I kind of use the Bondo method, which some guys hate it. It's worked well for me, and you can kind of shape it however you want. You know.
Sure. Yeah.
I mix this pretty hot because I hate messing with it for a long time, but not as hot as like putting the form on there.
Sure. Yeah.
I want a little bit of workable time.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't doing it right if your fingers aren't full of Bondo and you get Bondo on the hair. You kind of shape it how you want it on there. Gives it a nice full look too. Like the head definitely has. Most bears, I just use the regular brown eyes. You ain't gonna notice anything different with them.
Mm-hmm.
But I did splurge and buy a few white banded eyes. So, higher quality.
Yeah. Yeah.
I put banded eyes on hers, so you can just that bear coming down like that.
Yeah.
You know, and its eyes are rolled up, looking out at you.
Yeah.
And just something subtle like that can make a big difference. And she helped me do that. Pretty much sat out here and managed me for 8 hours while I mounted it for her. But she did sew one leg. I sewed 3 legs to her one. And
I think in the dictionary they call that marriage.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. She definitely said what she had to say. But it was fun. We spent the day together doing it, and
Oh yeah. It's
she
great.
wanted something a little bit different, and like the panting mouth on it too. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Normal bear mount, I charge, she hasn't got the bill yet, but I charge plenty extra for it.
So how many more days until you can do the finish work on this one?
That one, being that it's right in front of the furnace for the last 2 weeks, it's actually ready to be done.
Is it?
It's dry. We're going to make a rock to cover all the 2x4 stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
Like there's panels of fake rock in those boxes.
Gotcha.
Put it together and paint it. It's actually kind of fun.
Yeah, I bet. This scar is really unique on the nose.
Yeah, you get to see all that. We noticed that when we got up to it, it had a big scar. It looks sharp.
Yeah, it does.
And I get them as close as I can, and then they'll get adjusted more when the skin goes on.
Sure.
This is where you get to put a little expression in your face, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because bears are like dogs. They have like a second eyebrow.
So are the the forms, depending on whether it's a sow or a boar, they must be slightly differently shaped?
I
or
wish that when you bought forms from a supply company, you could buy them either, or pick the sex.
Yeah.
Boars, their sows are short, squatty.
Yeah.
Their arms aren't as big. But if you get a big boar and their forms are so big.
Yeah.
That you buy a 200-pound, okay, that bear on the end's 280 with an open mouth. If you get a 280-pound sow, it wouldn't fit that form. Because they're much bigger in the belly, but their arms aren't as big.
Yeah, right.
So I wish, you pretty much, when you buy a bear form, you measure off of the eye to nose measurement. So from the end of the nose to the corner of the eye. And then for a full size, you take from the nose to the base of the tail all the way around.
Sure.
And then you do their belly circumference. And it's actually kind of crazy. You go to buy a form online, and everything is exactly what you measured. I find that sometimes kind of crazy, but
yeah, it's amazing they can be that perfect.
And they fit, like a glove most of the times. But I say you run into the big thing you run into too is like sow heads are a lot smaller. Usually they're a little bit longer and kind of narrow, versus like a boar is usually pretty blocky almost.
How long does it take this stuff to set up?
The clay?
Yeah.
This stuff dries pretty hard, pretty quick. Like the feet clay, that's just regular potter's clay. That still takes quite a while.
Does it?
Yeah. But this stuff, honestly, by tomorrow, this eye clay will be dry. And like I said, when you put the hide on too, you kind of, that's why I use this clay. It doesn't move as much, but you'll be able to adjust a little bit too once the hide goes on. These suckers, and you put them through your finger, feels pretty awesome. I put one into my knuckle one time.
Yeah.
Whew. The size of a ballpoint pen. A lot of sewing on the full size.
Yeah, I bet.
But once you get past the feet, it seems, I like to think I can sew pretty fast.
Yeah.
It's just getting this part kind of lined up, and then you just go to town. And it kind of sucks having so much extra string all the time, but I hate having to cut it and start over. So you deal with the long string for now.
Well, the beauty is it gets shorter as you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the moment I met you, I could tell you were a guy who knew his way around a needle and thread.
This is where it gets fun, because then you gotta start basically putting pieces together. I try to keep my stitches less than a 1/4 inch apart, but when you get down in here,
it's tough. Yeah, I can see why cutting that form would really help. Just giving you a little bit more room in there.
All I'm using for thread is just the Berkeley Fireline stuff. Buy a spool of fishing thread online for...
Yeah,
They don't give a spool away, but I've had the spool for probably a year now.
It's probably way more heavy duty than thread.
Yeah, and it's small, it's black, so you don't see it.
Yeah.
And I can get a spool of that off Amazon for a decent amount. How many? 1,500 feet?
Yards.
1,500 feet? Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you want to go fishing, you're ready to go.
Yeah, right. Seems like once you get one arm done on something, the rest of it seems to go a lot quicker. I like to sew, like on a bear, I skin them with a big V on the chest. That way you can tuck everything in there. I like to sew to the end of that V. And then the other side, if I got to cut a little bit, if it, too much hair, whatever, at least one side is clean. We're just trying to guess. This is how I kind of tie them, or not tie them, but like every now and then give a good spin. Basically put the knot in line. Helps keep things from moving.
Like I said, I figured you were a guy who knew his way around a needle.
I like to overfill my feet a little bit. You can always move it around.
Sure.
I don't like big, like unnatural looking feet. You want to make them look like a foot too. I just can tell when I'm really tired, I go inside at night from working out here.
Yeah.
I'll come up the next day and I'll have tools and stuff everywhere. I try and keep it clean, but like at 2 in the morning, the last thing I want to do is clean up after myself.
Oh, I know how it goes. I know how it goes.
Come here, I'm like, oh boy.
Usually that's when I call her quits, and I do it the next morning with coffee. Get it all cleaned up. Little liquid motivation.
I hate starting with it being dirty, but...
Yeah. So do the hides shrink at all through the tanning process?
Yeah, I mean a little bit, and that's for like snapping it to fit it over the head. Like obviously it was tight, and when I snapped it, so easy went on that time versus the first time we tried.
Yeah.
Like your deer hides and stuff, like I snapped like the necks and stuff on deer hides because they do. And I try to order. I rarely ever order anything, bigger than what obviously than you measure. Like you sometimes don't have a choice. Like you want a certain form, and you can alter it, you make it work. But most of the time, if anything, err on the side of a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
Because they do shrink a little bit in the tanning process. But like, if this arm was tight, stretch that out. Now we just gained.
Well, I just had to ask because looking at it now, I swear it was twice the size when I drug it out of the woods by myself.
But when they don't shrink that much. But the thing about bears is they have so much hair.
Oh yeah.
When it gets mounted and we get it all fluffed up at the end.
Yeah.
Like that bear, I was like, the hide's too big. It ain't gonna fit in that form. And then once you get it on there, there's no extra. Yeah. Like it literally fits where it's supposed to.
I was sitting there looking at it, and I'm like, I don't know when Bob and Tor are going to make it out here. I'm like, I should get this thing to the trail. And it was getting pretty dark at that point, and I'm digging through my backpack, and luckily I had a safety harness for my climber in there, so I wrapped it around the neck, and I drug this damn thing out by myself. And yeah, 205 field dress, she was pushing 250,
And bears don't drag nicely.
No, they don't.
Are literally a bowl of jelly.
Dead weight.
Dead weight.
Dead weight.
No, the form, you're a little bit slack on here, but not a lot. The legs are all the right length. Like, it's not like it's... And you'll be... Once it's done and mounted and fluffed up, and two, you have a standing form. So a lot of that belly girth...
Yeah, right.
You're thinner standing up than you are sitting down.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
And you find, like, those three fit on the same form. Obviously, they all weren't the same measurements, but usually you end up having to trim a little bit off the belly to get the seams lined up, but you don't notice that. To knock on wood, I don't do nothing perfect. I'm not saying I do, but I've had really good success with the process that I have been going with these bears as far as fleshing, tanning, salting. And salt, all I use is like cattle salt, mix and fine cattle salt.
Oh God!
And not like a deer where you can go just get a different cape for a deer. It's not really a big deal.
Right? They're so unique.
You can't just get a bear cape. You know, they're not. A deer cape's a dime a dozen. You can find deer capes wherever you want them. I like being in control. I'm in control of the whole thing. And if something goes wrong, it's on me, and then I can figure out to fix it. And bears are very challenging. They're very greasy. They're not.
They're half rotten to begin with.
They're not easy. And people,
they eat cookies. Like they're gonna be a little gross. Cookies and grubs that they burrow out of logs, like the occasional blueberry, I guess. But
no, it's the downfall of tanning all your own stuff is it takes a lot of time, you know, a lot of work, but I'm in control of it. I'm not waiting on nobody but myself. And I have to plan ahead. It takes 5 days to tan something. So like, I can't just take it out and be like, oh, I'm going to bed tonight. It's not tan, you know. It all comes down to like, in your pickle solution, you know, checking the pH, make sure the pH is where it's supposed to be. That's probably the most important part.
So you use adhesive on the top half because that's where no stitching is, and everywhere else you can pull tight through the stitching process, basically?
Yeah, it's not going to go anywhere. It just helps keep the skin in place, really. Especially being it's a standing up bear, you want this seam to be as clean as you can. What I do too when it's all done, like this is going to be a little saggy here. You take great stuff and you throw it in there, and then it's kind
Plump
of like,
it out.
Yeah. It's not like it's going to be...
Oh, it looks pretty damn good to me.
I have to take some off of that probably, but I'm better off taking it off of the thin here. And it helps if your taxidermist, when they scut it for you, to cut it straight. Makes a big difference too. But like I said, I wouldn't be opposed to cutting out some of that thin here. Anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
It's only gonna look
That's
better.
definitely where you should take it.
Get done stitching the seam. Take a hammer to it. Even like your mounts you have in your house, if you can see like the seam in the back of the mount, take a hammer and just pound that seam into the form. The form is soft, so then it lays flat. Like you could do that if you have a deer head that sticking up a little bit. You could try that on it. It ain't gonna hurt it any.
Yeah, right.
It's just foam.
These full bodies have got to be quite a bit more work than the.
Yeah, I'd be done right here with it.
Yeah.
And this is an easy one. Like this is, they don't get no easier to sew than this because you ain't doing like inside the legs and stuff, you know.
Right.
Like I said, Katie's bear was an absolute, just a chore. Like a bear?
Yeah, it looks just like a bear. Beady little-eyed bear.
Thinking. I'll put right there.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Well.
Only once have I put a staple through my finger.
It's like the perfect height too, with the base and everything.
Yeah, it's not
like
gonna be like
imposing, but it's not. Doesn't look small either.
no, it's not just gonna be like in the way. Like
No, it'll fit perfectly. We got a staircase that goes down to our basement that I'll set it right next to, in the corner. It'll be absolutely perfect. I think I like the idea of that. It's not quite tall enough. We'd have to
we
build
could make
it up.
it taller.
We'd have to build it up a little bit.
I mean, it's gonna be foam around it anyway.
I actually think I like that better, to be honest
Up
with
to
you.
the foot,
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, like
Something.
it's standing behind.
Yeah, I can easily build foam around that. A couple 2x4s on the bottom. Something like that, you think?
Yeah, I like that a lot. God, you're just full of good ideas. Yeah, and I mean, if people see the base and you have a couple one-offs that want a base like this, I can easily make you bases like this. I don't want to do it full time, but I mean, I'll do 3 or 4 of them a year for you or whatever if you want. It's not that hard.
shit.
Whatever you gotta do.
I can't stand walking around with stuff like that.
Freaking sweet.
It was horrible.
So what's this stuff then? You're
Two-part
on.
epoxy, like not epoxy, foam. Basically, it's great stuff before great stuff.
Okay.
We do 50-50, equal parts. And I can tell you that when you don't do it exactly the same, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's got to be basically exactly 50-50.
So how much does this stuff expand then? Good inch or two?
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's going to take a couple batches, I think. It's alright. That's going to look pretty sweet, though. Tell you what.
Oh yeah, it's gonna look epic. It already does. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. It's been about 7 weeks since I last checked in with you guys in relation to my bear mount. I just arrived in Shell Lake. We're going to swing over to Tyler's now and put some of the finishing touches on it. So he's going to do a little bit of paint work and some landscape features, and then we should be good to go and ready to take it home, where we will get to admire his work for years and years and years to come. So super excited. We're going to buzz over there quick. We're going to hammer this out and we're going to get back on the road home. Stay tuned. It's going to be a good one. Hi. Could you live any farther away?
How's it going?
Not too bad. How are you?
Doing well.
Yeah? There's a few more bears on the wall.
This is the second batch of them.
Yeah?
Yeah. Almost done now.
Yeah? That's got to feel good.
Yeah, after something new.
Good to see you.
See you.
How's it going?
It's going. I had a hollow spot in the foam, so I was just trying to fill it back in. When I cut that slope off, it was all hollow on the inside. So.
Yeah. So do you feel like a free man now that there's a light at the end of the tunnel?
Light at the end of the tunnel.
You'll probably have a bunch of birds lined up for the summer and deer then to keep you busy?
Yeah, deer, and I started turkey. That's Bob. I just started that one this week. So
how was that class?
it was worth it. I didn't pay enough for it. I mean, the turkey thing was super cool. I learned a ton about turkeys. The guy literally eats, breeds turkeys. That's what he does for. He's mounted 18,000 birds.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, and he's a world champion. I mean, it's phenomenal. The turkey part was cool. Learned a ton. I mean, completely changed the game in turkeys. But the business part of what I learned with them,
really?
that's what I took home the most.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, phenomenal. And I love turkeys. I want to get really good at them. So it's super cool to. I mean, my backs have never looked like this before. I mean, they're.
Oh, it's beautiful. Well, I think you'll have plenty of taxidermy work to keep you busy. Tor let me bring her good camera, but I don't know how to work it, so I gotta call her. Hey, how do I get the screen to display?
Where you continue to video, just click that button.
This? Oh. The other one's not like that. No, I got her.
Okay,
Bye. I don't know shit about cameras.
The thing about bears is you can zoom these things 100 times, blow them out a bunch of times, and you're still gonna see stuff in its hair.
Yeah.
But you got an air compressor at home, So if it gets dusty and dirty, just take an air compressor to it, best friend. And we'll spray paint it, and then we're gonna, while the spray paint dries, we'll get the face finished up. That won't take very long to do that.
Yeah.
And we'll put it back up there, and then we'll work on the habitat stuff. So.
I hauled the trailer up to bring it home.
Oh, she's going, I need space. It's going home today. Done or not, it's going home today.
Well,
You just want it to be as smooth as you can, otherwise it looks like, it ain't bad with the dirt on top, but it looks funky if you don't get it. You want to shake up the brown rattle can?
sure.
Gracias. Just so that if we have any spots where it's light,
Yep.
you don't see yellow underneath of it, right?
Yeah, makes sense. Just right here, you're thinking?
It ain't light, that's for sure. Let's spin it this way a little bit too. Yeah.
It's lighter than I remember. So what's the point of this here?
Just fluffing that hair.
Just fluffing
that
it.
hair stood back.
Yep, yep.
It's kind of matted down and it dries that way. When it gets real nice and fluffy. Yeah, now. And you can kind of zoom it down a little bit, but it's soft now. And it just cleans it. I mean, get any glue or clay that is dried to it. And this is where you can kind of cheat and get your eye around this. Like you see how like that corner right there is a little bit.
Yep. Where does this go?
This was going to use to fill all the cracks and like around the eyes, making it solid.
Okay.
And like in the nose, and you see a little bit sunken a little bit right there.
Yep.
And right there. Yeah, so we'll fill all that in a little bit. That's the downfall of using like a real nose, is you get a little bit of that sometimes in spots.
Mm-hmm.
But you just texture it and put it on there.
Yeah, but you're the only one who notices that. I would have never known the difference.
And that's where like putting it on there today, like it's going to be soft, like not that there's going to be a lot on there, but it's going to be like, don't touch the nose, don't bump the nose.
Yeah.
Because it will rub off.
Okay.
That's the only like be careful with it type thing. Okay, I think you're ready to throw some paint in.
Yeah?
It's looking like a bear. So do you like the way the belly looks? Like especially there, it's probably all right. But like, you want that painted black?
I would definitely probably hit that in black just to even it up a little bit. If both sides were like that, I'd say whatever, but
I think when we did it, we had to pull some that way. We shaved a good chunk of it out, but that side, it's not a big deal painter.
no. Yeah, that really pulls it together nice.
A little better, ain't it?
Yeah. My only thought is maybe right where that stitching is.
Yeah.
Beauty.
Bad habit.
I see that.
Very bad habit. Ready for it to look like a bear?
It already does.
Favorite part. that paint, it just brushes right off.
Yeah.
That's why you kind of overspray and it kind of gets down to the bare skin stuff. That's where it's frustrating. Once the epoxy is dry, you don't chip it off. But when I clean this paint off this eye, I guarantee there'll be spots that I'll have to repaint again.
Those the white surrounds on the eyes.
They just pop.
Make it pop, yeah.
Yep. Before you couldn't really see it much because it was all gray and the pins, but now that you can see it, yeah. This is where I struggle. I was doing this really carefully left-handed.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of ambidextrous, but like, it don't take much to go like,
oh, I know.
Scratch something. I bet I repaint this side 10 times more than I paint this side.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm kind of left-handed, so like, it's not bad. I don't know how guys do that can't even.
Oh, I'm worthless with my left hand.
It's just an angle thing. It's weird. So I'm not putting much pressure on it. Basically, I can just scrape it off.
Looks just like you did out in the woods. So this is just brass.
Yeah, that was brass. It's soft.
In case I ever want to fluff it again.
Yeah. I mean, you can be pretty aggressive too with like that other brush, just a normal wire brush from like Harbor Freight. Just be careful around like with a really stiff brush around the nose and the eyes.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
If anything, a toothbrush.
Yeah, a toothbrush would work good.
Yep. For the rest of the body, like if it's dusty or dirty, just take it outside of the air compressor and let it go. The biggest thing is wash the base a little bit, you know, from the habitat stuff. But basically just like pat it on there. Stick to the glue. And you might find some of this might fall off a little bit.
Yeah.
But
I figured.
that's why we painted it brown underneath too. That looks actually pretty sweet, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it looks
That
great.
turned out pretty cool.
Looks great.
Okay, now the fun part. What do you all want on it?
What are the options? Show me the options, boss.
Oh man, I got this moss is really cool. I highly suggest putting some of that on there somewhere. I got some more moss and stuff here. I got limbs, I got ferns, grasses, a vine, more ferns, more leaves. I mean, with a pine tree, go ahead. Pick your poison. Pine bough. Green looks really good on bare mounds. Here's a really big fern.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. So do you just stick it into the foam?
No, I'll drill a little hole.
You drill a hole? Tricks of the trade.
Back in here?
Sure. Oh, money. Yeah, it looks great.
Let the hot glue gun warm up and then we'll throw it to the room.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, that does look pretty good. Will it fit in the same hole?
Probably would. Straight pretty much however you want it. I mean, definitely some moss, probably like
Around the rock, yeah.
Switch to Metro by T-Mobile.
pretty cool, man. What do you think?
I like it a lot.
Really neat.
Yeah, that looks damn good. The moss on the edge was definitely the right move. Breaks up the dirt a little bit. Yep.